Good morning. So I'm just hanging out in Eli's room because it's another miserable day here in the UK, and Eli's room is the brightest room at the moment. As you can see, if you're familiar with the way our house looks, I guess, this is a new bed for Eli. We are redoing his room and I will show you more of that later. So kicking off the reading vlog for this month's book, which is My Sister the Serial Killer. From the Voxer group, it seems like this is going to be a really quick read, so I'm not sure how much of a vlog it'll be, but I will give it a go. But as always, when I start these vlogs, I'm usually in the middle of reading something, and that's certainly the case. I've got about 10 pages left of, it's actually The Light Fantastic. This is book 1 and 2 of Terry Pratchett's Discworld series combined, which I didn't realise. It's not just The Colour of Magic, it's The Colour of Magic and The Light Fantastic. So I've got about 10 pages left of The Light Fantastic, and then I will be picking up this one. But I have got, I've got a 6-hour Zoom meeting starting in 10 minutes. So I'm not sure how much of this I will get read today. Maybe, I think we're having a slight lunch break, so I might try and read it in the lunch break, but if not, I will definitely read it this evening, and then I will jump into this one. As I said, from the Voxer, it sounds like this is going to be a very quick read, so I will give it a go. I will let you know my thoughts as always. Now I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea, let the dogs out because I don't know if you can hear them in the background fighting, and then get myself ready for this 6-hour meeting. So I will see you all in a little while. Spending my Friday night with my stitching and Grey's Anatomy. Is there anything more rock and roll than this? Good morning. Excuse the mad hair. I had it done yesterday. I had it dyed yesterday and it's gone like really wild. Don't know why. So it's Saturday morning. I don't have a ton of time because I'm working this morning. I'm basically working all the Saturdays in October, possibly the Saturdays in November as well, just in the morning, which has thrown me a little bit because I use the weekends normally to recharge and catch up on stuff, but I don't have that anymore, or at least most of my Saturday is gone. But I wanted to pop on and say I started My Sister the Serial Killer last night. I am about 30 pages in. It's extremely readable. The way that the chapters are incredibly short, it makes you, yeah, it feels like I'm going to fly through it, and so I'm going to try and take my time with it. It would be really tempting, I think, to sit and read it all in one sitting, but I almost want to savour it. I mean, right from the beginning, you kind of get that there's this dark, dry humour going on. Yeah, I just really want to make the most of it rather than just racing through it because I can. I want to try and savour it. So I read 30 pages. The scene where they are, I didn't know what to expect from it. I thought, if you saw my Instagram, I thought that it was going to be a little bit gruesome and grim. It's actually not like that at all, but I really didn't know what to expect from it. And so the scene when they are putting, is it Femi's body? Sorry, I'm rubbish with names. Femi's body into the elevator, and then the mother and the child come. I was like, where is this going? But yeah, just very, very amusing, very dark, yeah, dry humour. But I'm enjoying it. So as I said, I'm going out to work now. I'm going to try and get some more of this read this afternoon. But I do also want to spend some time with the kids. It's now half term for the kids, and I had a bit of a rubbish summer with them because I was working so much, and so they went to stay with James's parents and then they went to stay with my parents, and I feel like I didn't really get to see them very much. So I've taken all of this next week off and planned out some fun things for us to do, and I'd like to spend just a little bit of time with them. So I may not get a ton of reading done today, but as I said, that kind of works out for the best anyway because I want to take my time with it, and I do feel like if I had a couple of hours I would indefinitely get it finished. So yeah, I will obviously update you as and when, but I have started it. I am enjoying it so far, and yeah, and now I better go to work, otherwise I will be late. So just a little check-in. It's Sunday afternoon. I did a fair amount of reading yesterday. I think I was just past page 30 when I updated you, and I'm over 100 pages in now. So the short, snappy chapters really do make this book quite readable. I didn't actually spend that much time reading yesterday. and yet I'm already past page 100. So it's interesting though. I'm still enjoying it, but the book that I was reading just before I picked this one up, which was The Light Fantastic, well, The Colour of Magic and The Light Fantastic by Terry Pratchett, although it didn't have chapters, it has no chapters at all, the way that it was written, you're skipping forward quite rapidly in time, and my one criticism of that book would be that because of the way that it is written, you don't really build a good connection with the characters, and I sort of feel the same about this because each chapter is so short. I mean, some of them are just 2 pages or 1.5 pages. I don't feel like I'm making a huge connection with the characters, and I feel like we're just almost getting a surface level look at the characters, and there is obviously more going on. You know, it mentions Coridi. I'm calling her Coridi. I don't know how to pronounce the names and I'm probably butchering them, but Coridi clearly has Coridi and Ayula's dad has clearly he was abusive. Clearly he has left scars for the girls, and they have both internalized that and dealt with it in different ways, and the outcome has produced different results. You know, Coridi is really into everything being clean, almost to like the level of OCD, whereas Ayula is much more, well, other than being a serial killer, you know, she has dealt with it in different ways, and it's also really interesting seeing the relationship develop between the sisters, because they obviously have learnt to look out for one another, but you sort of feel like Ayula is leaving Coridi to dry, leaving her out to dry a little bit as well. Sorry, my battery is going and I can see it flashing, which is quite distracting, but I feel like, yes, so there's obviously more going on. There is the history with the dad, and then the relationship between the sisters, but I feel like there's more and we're just getting surface level, and I'm a little bit disappointed as much as I'm enjoying it. You know, if you've been around my channel for a while, the character connection is huge for me, and not getting that does affect my reading experience. So I'm going to do a little bit more reading now. I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine and do a little bit more reading, and I'm sure that I will update you in a little while. But yeah, they are kind of my initial thoughts. I like that it's pacey, but at the same time I'm wishing for just that little bit more, unfortunately.
You wouldn't notice anyway.
We're on Monday now, by the way. I've just got to the part where Tady and Coridi are having a conversation, and Tady has just said that Ayula told him that Coridi treats her like a monster, and it's really thrown me because there is very clearly a connection between these two sisters with the history of what's gone on with their father and his abuse. It's clear that they've had to stick together. Obviously Coridi has been involved in I mean, we only know what's happened with Femi, but with the murders of these 3 men and helping Ayula to clear it up. And now I feel like it's a bit of a curveball. Why has Ayula thrown Coridi under the bus? Because it's very likely that Ayula doesn't care about Tady, given her history. It just seems like such a weird thing. I thought that these sisters had quite a strong relationship. Obviously it's quite an unusual relationship in their past and in what Coridi has had to help Ayula with, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem to fit. I don't understand why Ayula would say that. I mean, was she hoping to, does she know that Coridi has feelings for Tady and she's trying to deliberately sour his opinion of her? But why, when he's so clearly infatuated with Ayula, would she need to do that? Why would she need to throw her sister under the bus in the first place? I don't get it. I don't understand why she would be so horrible about her sister. What does she stand to gain from that? I don't know. It's just, I just wasn't expecting it. It's really thrown me. I was like, oh, that doesn't seem right. Anyway, I'm off with the kids today. We've done some colouring this morning. I've obviously done some reading, and then we're going to do some baking, some spooky baking this afternoon. But I really am hopeful that I will get this book finished today. As I said, I think in the last clip, I'm trying to take it slowly and I'm trying to savour it, so that I get the most out of it. I am still really struggling with the short chapters and the lack of character connection, but I can definitely begin to see what the author is trying to achieve, apart from when she throws a curveball like she has just done. But yes, we're gonna have some lunch now and I will update you all in a little while. This book just gets more and more bizarre. I've just got to the part where Ayoola, Tady and Coridi are playing Cluedo, and then Ayoola has winked at Coridi after explaining the rules, and I guess I was kind of expecting that at some point we would get an explanation as to why Ayoola has done the things that she has done. I mean, I'm guessing that it's all connected to the upbringing that they had and the way that they were treated by their father, but I suppose I'm waiting for like a trigger. What is it that those men have said or done that has meant that Ayoola has attacked them? And I haven't had that yet. But also, she seems to show zero remorse for what she's done. I mean, slightly earlier in the book, she made some comment to Coridi about, you know, I don't know why you're going around being so glum. You're not the only one carrying this big thing around. And Coridi said, well, you were singing, I Believe I Can Fly, I think it was, the other day. And she's like, yeah, it's a good song. So she doesn't seem to be like weighed down or bothered by what she's doing. And yeah, it's very, very interesting to read that and think, surely, you know, to be driven to that, you'd expect some feeling of guilt or some feeling of remorse to take a life, but Ayoola clearly doesn't have that. And I just feel really sorry for Coridi. I'm kind of waiting for her to, she needs to almost turn Ayoola in, and then go and live a life, you know, instead of carrying this weight around with her. And I know that she feels this kind of need to protect her sister that is so obvious all the way through, and she feels like it's her responsibility as the big sister, but at the same time it is holding her back. I quite like Corida's character. She has quite a almost like a sarcastic, dry sense of humour, and some of the thoughts that she has about her co-workers actually just make me laugh out loud. And yeah, I just feel like she's allowing herself to be held back by her sister. But yeah, the Cluedo thing, I was just like, what? Just as she passes the rule book to him and winks at me. Definitely think, I mean, I've only got this much left. The kids are playing outside at the moment, so I definitely think I might be able to get this finished during this reading session. As I said before, I'm trying to read it slowly so that I can get the most out of it, but it is so readable. So yeah, I'm going to sit and try and finish it now, and then I'll update you on my thoughts at the end. Or if you see me and I'm in another outfit, that means that something happened outside and I wasn't able to finish. Got to the part where the coma patient has woken up, and he says, oh yes, I recall you saying that your sister is a serial killer. Now I'm like, is this the point when it's all gonna come tumbling down? Oh my goodness me. I did think right at the beginning when she was confiding in him, I did think to myself, I wonder if there's gonna be this twist where he wakes up and he remembers, and there is. Oh my goodness. Right, I'm gonna have to keep reading now because I need to know what's gonna happen. Okay, it's about an hour later and I have just finished the book, and I have got so many thoughts. So much happened from the point when is it Muhtar, the coma patient, woke up, and the story just started to go in a totally different direction, with Karidi ransacking Tadi's office and then trying to warn him, and then Ayoola ending up being injured and going to the hospital, right down to the coma patient, whose name I'm not going to butcher again, giving Karidi her number. And I thought like there was going to be some kind of romance thing going on between them, and then she tore his number up. I don't know how I feel about this book. I've just finished, and I sat here for a couple of minutes and thought I'll just try and gather my thoughts. But I just don't know. Like, I can see what the author was trying to do, and I did find it amusing, and I really liked Karidi's character. I rooted for her most of the way through. I didn't like Ayoola at all. I thought that she was really cold. Obviously she is a serial killer, but just like that aside, I thought that she was really cold, and really derogatory about her sister. But I do have mixed feelings, because she did defend Karidi when Karidi destroyed the flowers, and then her mum questioned it. She defended her, but then in the same moment, not in the same moment, but then, you know, she also then said to Tadi that Karidi viewed her as a monster and like undermined Karidi. And I don't know. So the dynamic between the two sisters is quite confusing. And then also I've just been left with so many questions. I thought that we were going to get more detail about the deaths and what led up to them. Because it seems like from the interaction between, you know, when Ayoola attacks Tadi, that it just kind of came out of nowhere. And then curveball, that it appears that maybe Karidi was the one who kickstarted the whole thing by killing the father, because he was going to sell Ayoola to one of his business associates. So like there's a whole lot that is kind of crammed into this book. But it's just really like surface level, and you don't kind of delve in to any of it. So although I can see what the author was trying to do, I feel a little bit disappointed maybe. And I really like the writing style and all of that, and I think what I feel like is I wish that there had been a bit more depth to it, and that it had gone into a bit more detail about all the different things that it brought up. And I feel like, and I think I said this before, that I was trying to read it slowly so that I was kind of absorbing it, because I feel like there were a lot of nuances that I've maybe not quite picked up on. I'd almost benefit from reading it again, I think, because I've definitely raced through that last section once it got to the point where the coma patient woke up. I was like, I've got to get to the end of this book and see what happens. And I'm also confused and conflicted about the fact that in the end Karidi decided to side with her sister. Like, she could not have had a more perfect opportunity to say, actually, yes, do you know what, Ayoola is doing these things, she needs to be put away, she is murdering people, because there's nothing to stop her doing it again in the future. And Karidi is just has become her accomplice, and I'm gutted, because I felt sorry for Karidi all the way through. And I'm just surprised that in the end she still sided with her sister. But there is a quote actually that I did mark. Hang on. I did want to mark. So I want to say Muhtar, but that really could be wrong. She's talking to him about why, or whether the right thing to do is to turn someone in, and he says, "We are hardwired to protect and remain loyal to the people we love. Besides, no one is innocent in this world." It's a quote apparently by Jim Morrison. So that's kind of like a very vague explanation, but at the same time it's holding Karidi back. You know, she becomes head nurse, she's obviously very accomplished in her personal life. She obviously doesn't have the romance, which is what she wants from Tadi. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to have the discussion actually at the end of the month, because I'll be interested to see what everyone else thinks. I have super conflicting feelings about this. I loved it in terms of the fact that it was snappy and sharp and witty and dark and just not like anything I was expecting. But then I feel like it was a little bit lacking in other areas and I would have liked a more rounded reading experience. That's probably a whole lot of waffling, but that's kind of how I feel. My brain is like just, I don't know, it can't quite process everything that I have just read, and I have literally just raced through it. Despite what I said before, I then have just raced through it. So yeah, I'll be really interested to see what the rest of you think, because I don't know, maybe I need to sit with it for a little while longer. Yeah, and this reading vlog actually is not going to be very long because it's such a short book, so hopefully November's book will be longer and I can do more of a cozy reading vlog because November's weather will definitely lend itself to that. But I'm going to go now because otherwise I'm probably just going to waffle on and on even longer. But yes, super interested for the discussion for this now, because I don't know, I just don't know what to think. So thank you for watching. I look forward to our discussion of this, and yeah, picking November's book as well. I think we're going to pick a classic and that should be really good. So thank you for watching. We'll probably have had the discussion by the time this video goes up, but nonetheless, I'll see you all soon.